Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Superstars of Wrestling Review series for the 23rd of November, 1991. And overall, this is a pretty, I guess I'd say a pretty noteworthy couple days before Survivor Series event, or as noteworthy as that can be. In that, we're coming off Will Hogan get reinstated, that sort of thing there, and all of that, and some challenges as it relates to who's going to be on certain teams. That those questions are still there. We open with a review of the attack on Hogan, and obviously we're going to get updated on that. Hogan getting attacked, now that I think about it, mere weeks before the Survivor Series, or less than 2 full weeks anyway, is a pretty big deal. Tito Santana in an enhancement match, fresh off the Matador gimmick beginning, which they never really did as much with the Matador as I think they could have, but also I don't think they thought that far ahead in 1991. Bob Smedley, otherwise known as Bobby Blaze, who I'm going to have a ton of fun covering when we do our Smoky Mountain full series, which is still in the works. Anyway, Bob Smedley is Bobby Blaze under his legal name. Didn't know he was around in 1991. Did know he was around in 92, 93, 94. Didn't know he went all the way back to 91, though. Anyway, I mean, basically Santana tries to get a enhancement talent to chase the cape. Obviously, that doesn't work. A few arm drags, arm bars and the like, and the forearm to the back of the neck. And Tito ends up winning the match in quick order. Obviously, an Event Center promo. Continuation here. We move into, with this being just 4 days before the Survivor Series, Rockers and the Bushwhackers promise to get rid of the Nasties, and the Beverly Brothers. Rockers have a little bit more jovial nature to their promo this week, but even still, you can look. Shawn Michaels looks like he's forcing it. Anyway, Big Bully Busick out and to face Bret Hart for the Intercontinental Championship. Busick, who hasn't really been pushed other than in enhancement matches, kind of a big deal. Harvey Whippleman out there with Busick. Side headlocks and such by Bret. Obviously, his main feud is with the Mountie. Shoulder tackle by Bret and some up and overs. Busick gets tossed around with hip tosses and clotheslines. So it's clear that you're not going to do a lot with a guy if he's already having that much trouble. Abdominal stretch and a hold of the ropes by Busick gives him an advantage for a little while. A few seconds maybe, and he comes up stomping at the Hitman. Hitman does eventually beat Busick, though. Inverted atomic drop where they kind of lost footing with each other. And Bret hits his patented backbreaker. Manages to go up to the second rope on the inside. And you see Busick actually putting himself in position for the move, which is just awkward looking when you're looking at it with a critical eye. And Bret eventually steps through, gets the sharpshooter victory, and that is that. We go to the Event Center, and basically we see the promo we've been seeing. IRS and Natural Disasters and Jake Roberts talk about their one-man advantage at the Survivor Series, how that's a big deal. Undertaker, who is continually getting hyped for his Survivor Series match in a couple of days, would be out there pretty soon. The Repo Man repossesses a woman's car from in her garage. He basically busts into the car illegally and then drives away with it with the woman screaming. Texas Tornado out, and he has won over some of the ladies who are impressed with him. He gets back in the ring, and literally, I mean, his ring entrance takes longer than the actual match. I think he's in the ring maybe a total of 2 minutes, something like that, if that. But anyway, he's in the ring and manages to get the claw, a couple punches, and the discus punch, and a victory in about 90 seconds. So, I mean, they're still trying to keep him strong, but I wonder if that's not about exposing him for not being in the best of shape. Virgil goes nuts about the $1 million belt. Even the Bulldog shining up the belt for him. Bret Hart looks smug like he doesn't really want to be there. And Piper says he scares Flair. Miss Elizabeth cuts a 30-second promo begging Jack Tunney to reinstate her husband. And it doesn't really lead to anywhere with Tunney because that reinstatement doesn't happen until nearly clear after the Survivor Series. We move into a match with Skinner. Skinner takes some shots at the enhancement talent. Punch kick, maybe a body slam here, and then the inverted DDT. They hype Hulkamania 6. Hogan promises to defeat The Undertaker. Says Hulkamania is still the biggest force in the universe and make that a pretty big deal. Gene Okerlund does final push for the Survivor Series. Jake Roberts is out next. He stomps on the hand and goes after with an inverted clothesline. The enhancement talent lays him out pretty aggressively and assertively and then manages to hook a DDT. Then he manages to beg Randy Savage to come down to the ring, dares him to come down, calls him a coward, basically insults his wife, insults the Macho Man, insults everything he's about, dares him to come down. Savage gets in the ring, gets jumped by the Snake, meaning Jake, not the actual Snake, at least not yet. And his leg is held onto at ringside. That leads to the arm being injured by Jake Roberts. Savage is tied up in the ropes, and Randy Savage has his arm gnawed on for a good 2 minutes by a cobra. An actual cobra is biting the arm of Randy Savage. In later versions of same video, the cobra on the arm is in fact X'd out, but the cobra is gnawing away on the arm, and the fans are, some of them are laughing, which is not a good sign. Others of them are sickened by this and grossed out by it. Jake Roberts is slapping Savage during this whole thing, shaking the cobra to get extra, quote, venom into Savage. Savage is released when Roddy Piper runs in to save his friend. Among others, the background officials come down. Elizabeth comes down and begs Jake to stop. Jake takes out a few ringside officials, grabs the Snake, and away we go. Runs people off that way. Savage gets out of the ropes, barely, tries to fight. The idea of delirium setting in from the snake venom is there. Roddy Piper is nervous by the snake. We see Rene Goulet among others. Jake is crouching in the corner, watching all of this. Randy Savage is taken out on the stretcher. Actually, I believe almost falls off of the stretcher while being run to the back of the arena. And Jake Roberts is laughing as we close the program a few days before the Survivor Series. We will be back with more right after this.